Hi Cancer, this is Joanna from Tarot with Joanna, here to do another reading. Hello, hello, hello. So Cancer, in today's reading, I am going to give you a card from the Denise Lynn Oracle card, going to do one from the Archangel Michael also. So I hope you guys are having a beautiful New Year's. Don't forget to let us start this one right? This is a guidance for you guys so that you can have some kind of idea of what's going on. Don't forget to like and subscribe and even comment if you'd like. All right, so all right, Cancer, so let's see what's going on in your reading. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Cancer, 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 Cancer. All right, here we go. One card for Cancer for their highest good. You got Wandering Path. Enjoy the journey. Wow. So, I feel like you really don't know what's going to happen in 2026, right? We all are. We're all like, things have ended, things have changed, and I feel like you're just on a different path. I feel like for you to just enjoy it, like just go with it. Go with everything that you need to do. You'll know. Trust me, you'll know. And then you have one from Archangel Michael. Sorry. Okay. All right, Archangel Michael, what would you like to say to us? This is for Cancer for their highest good. This is for Cancer for their highest good. Archangel Michael. All right. And he says, wow. He says, trust in the divine purpose. This experience has divine meaning. Healing will come. Know that you're on the path of growth. Definitely. Wow. These two are actually going hand in hand because you are definitely on a new path. You're growing from a lot of things that have happened, a lot of new things that are going on. And also, you may not know where you're going, like I said, but, just go with it. Go with the flow, you guys. Go with it. All right, so here we go. Cancer, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Cancer. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. All right. One for the current. This is for Cancer for their highest good. Take what resonates with you, Cancer, and leave the rest. This is for the situation. One for the hopes, for the past or now. This is for the past or now. For the what's hidden. For the hopes and fears. What you need to do now. What you need to work on. And the outcome. Wow. Okay. So, and the end of the tarot deck, you did get the Justice card, Cancer, with the Five of Cups. Looks like you are definitely, there's a lot of things that you're not really seeing. I feel like you're trying to contemplate decisions. I also feel like there's justice. The card Justice is here, so I feel like you really need to let everything balance out. Like really see the truth in things that's going on around you that you're doing. Really see the truth in everything that's going on. I feel like also too, you start off with this Knight of Swords, and I feel like you need to really slow down on things that you're doing. Maybe you're not really seeing them clearly, and you really need to take the time to slow down. It's good for us to all have ideas, good for us to put us out there, but sometimes we rush on things that just don't make any sense sometimes, and you have to really look at things carefully. Okay, especially now because we're like on that edge where the planets are moving. They're changing and the energy is like throwing us off. It's not really throwing us off, but it's pushing us forward. Okay, so just know that. You do have the King of Pentacles for the situation. The King of Pentacles is talking about really, he's an entrepreneur, right? So he knows how to make success. He knows how to make that material success also. But I feel like you need to really watch your finances. Okay. You have the Six of Swords for the past or now. I feel like you could be leaving a lot of things behind. I feel like, out with the old, in with the new, kind of sort of speak here. I do believe it's now that you're going to walk away from something that's going on in your life. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles here. The Five of Pentacles is definitely talking about, maybe you've been disappointed. Maybe you've been feeling like you're alone, been feeling down. Maybe you're letting your emotions get in the way of things. It could also be fear also of not having enough, like not having enough abundance, or finances. I do feel like, you're very isolated, and I feel like at times you do feel like you've been hurt, and you've been alone. But I feel like it's just temporary and you're not going to be alone. It's how you see things, Cancer. You have the Page of Pentacles down here for the hopes and fears. They want you to continue to learn something new. I feel like you're going to learn something new. I feel like there's something here about long-term learning. I feel like there's opportunities around you. I feel like you're ready for new opportunities to come in, especially finances, but we'll see. You have the Magician card for what you need to do now, and they're asking you to think positive in everything. Like stop thinking like nothing's going to happen for you. Stop thinking that this isn't going to come in, because right now we're at the point where we are definitely manifesting whatever we say out to the universe, it does come in. So really think positive about everything. You also have the Fool card, which is a very nice card to have, but something you need to work on, and that's being cautious of how you're speaking to people, how you're doing new things, especially on this new path that you're on, because I do feel like there is a new path here for you. You have this one here, Wandering Path, and then you have this one, like trust that there's a plan for you, but you also need, it's in the where you need to work on something that you need to work on, right? So the Fool, he's usually like very careless. Sometimes he just like, he's on the go. He just doesn't doesn't matter what he has in his pocket, even if it's like $2, he's still going to make a go at it. So but the thing is that they're asking you, be cautious about it. Okay, be really cautious about what you're doing, what you're going, doing things. Really be cautious about it. And that's where this Knight of Swords comes in, because the Knight of Swords is rushing. It's like, I'm going to do it and I don't care. I don't care, and you can't think like that, because you do care and you do need to take your time with things. And then Cancer, you have the Four of Swords. So really double check everything before you start anything, okay? You do have the Four of Swords at the end of the reading. That's the outcome. And, it's time for you to rest, to gather your senses together, to find that peace, to find that that rest, okay? Whew, okay, so let's see what's going on for you, Cancer. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Cancer, 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 Cancer. Really speak your truth about things. Also, try not to be holding back. I feel like, at times you try to hold back a lot because you don't want to hurt somebody else's feeling, but it's time to not hold back. It's time to speak your truth and about what you're thinking. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Cancer, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Thank you, Spirit. All right. The Knight of Swords. Why is the Knight of Swords here for Cancer? One more card. Yes, definitely. Okay, so you do have the Knight of Swords, and like I said, the Knight of Swords is about yes, the Knight of Swords. So it's really about really rushing into things, it's okay to do things in a whim. It's okay to be spontaneous, but sometimes you just got to stop and really look at everything before you start doing it. You don't want to look like somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Okay. So, really, I feel like you're creating a lot of ideas, but really be careful on how you're rushing ahead on things. Okay. With this Knight of Swords, you also got the King of Swords here. So the King of Swords is asking you to be focused, you're very bold. You're very, you can be very focused when you want to, but, you have a hard time on staying in your power right now. For some reason, you're like, you're rushing ahead into things, and you really need to slow down a little bit. They're asking you to really be careful on how you're doing things, not rushing into things, really stand in your power. They're asking you to communicate a little bit more, like try to communicate better, express yourself better, communicate better, don't just think you're in it by yourself, is what they're saying. Also too, I feel like you are definitely going to have a lot of clarity. You're going to understand a lot of things that are going on in your life. I feel with the Two of Wands here, I feel like you are definitely making decisions, and you're definitely trying to figure out what your next step is. I feel like there's plans that you're trying to make. It could even be travel plans here that you're wanting to do, like travel somewhere, go somewhere different, doing things differently. Feel like you're wanting to take a trip also. I feel like you need to have patience, that everything will fall into its place. Just gotta, have patience and just wait, because I feel like there is there's a decision that you're going to be contemplating very soon. Okay. Um, you do have the King of Pentacles here for the situation. And why is the King of Pentacles here for Cancer? Oh, my card. Wow. Okay. Um, so for the King of Pentacles, like I said, the King of Pentacles, you know, he's very strong-willed. He's an entrepreneur. He knows how to create his money and that material success, right? But they're asking you to still have patience. For some reason, I feel like the big strong thing here is you having patience. Like, try not to be careless on what you're doing. Like, really look at your decisions. Really stop racing ahead. Really just like take it slow. Okay, go with the flow. Just go with it. Because with the King of Pentacles here, he knows how to establish himself. You know, but you need to be careful on how you're doing things, especially your finances. Like, really watch your finances, okay? Because yes, you know how to make them, how to create them, but you really just need to also watch them, okay? Really watch them. You also have the Nine of Cups here, and the Nine of Cups is asking you to really step back and have gratitude for everything. You know, be grateful for the things that you have, the people that you have in your life. You know, a lot of us don't have things that we have, that you have. You know, a lot of us, you know, don't have anybody in our lives, that we're solo most of the time, and they're asking you to be very grateful with the things that you have. I feel like you need to find contentment. I feel like you need to see everything that you have accomplished in your life and not feel like you haven't done anything. Okay, and that's what they're saying. Also, too, with the Lovers card here, I feel like there's definitely a decision that you're definitely contemplating. I feel like you're going on a new path here, definitely. And I also feel like, you know, you got to really see things like there's two sides to everything. So, like, really be careful on your finances, really be careful on your decisions that you're making, okay? And really have better communication, because for some reason, it's like your communication, it needs to be better. Like, really get your point across, really speak your truth, but don't say it harsh. Don't be mean about it, okay? Cancer. You have the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is talking about that you're definitely leaving something behind, you know, something new could be coming in. Better times are coming with this card, so it's good. I like this card. You know, you're going on a new path, definitely, because you not only have this card, but it just tells you in the whole reading. So I do believe that it is now. You have the Five of Pentacles up here in what's hidden. And why is the Five of Pentacles here for Cancer? One more card. So you do feel like, okay, so with this Five of Pentacles here, I do feel like at times you do feel like very disappointed in things. I feel like at times, you know, you've been let down, or even feel like, you know, like alone. You know, you could be feeling alone, but mostly like, you know, sometimes at times you let your emotions get in the way of how you're doing things. You know, like you can easily take it out on somebody. You know, like if you're in a bad mood, you can easily take it out in a bad mood, like take it out on somebody. And they're asking you to really try to tone that down. I feel like if you're experiencing like lack of finances, I feel like this is just temporary, and it's gonna come through. You just gotta have to have patience. I also feel with that Five of Pentacles, because you're disappointed. You know, you want the success, you want the stability, you want that success to come in, but you know, you're very like eager about it, but it's like almost as if they're saying, you know, hey, wait a minute, you know, it will come, but you got to have patience for it. Okay. And I do feel like when the Six of Wands comes in, I do feel like there is some kind of success here, but you need to you really need to just like wait, like have patience for everything. Okay. Also feel like you are definitely going to be recognized at time. You're going to be recognized for your hard work and the work that you do also. And then with the Magician card here, I do feel with the Magician card that you really need to, you know, think positive in everything, no matter what. You know, at times you tend not to feel positive, because you do have the Five of Pentacles here, and that's being let down. But really think about being positive, okay? Really try to think that, everything's going to work out, believe that everything's going to work out. Because remember that we do create the world that we live in, and we manifest everything that we say and do. So if you're looking to manifest something, put it out there, speak about it, talk about it, that it's already yours. Pray about it, because that's what they want you to do, is to think positive, to think that you already have it. Wow, nice. I like that. But there is definitely some kind of success here, but you need to shift your mindset on how you're thinking, Cancer. You do have the Page of Pentacles here. And why is the Page of Pentacles here for Cancer? Well, my card for the hopes and fears. So you do have the Page of Pentacles here. I feel like you're going to be going through a lot, that you're going to be learning something new very soon. I feel like it's going to be something long-term also. I also feel with the Page of Pentacles here that there is financial opportunities here, that you are going to have something long-term, like you're going to be learning something that's going to bring you abundance long-term, or maybe this is what you want, because it's also in the hopes and fears. I feel like you want that of financial opportunities, and I feel like you will have them, but you need to really have patience for everything that's going on. I also feel like with the King of Wands that's here, with that Page of Pentacles, I feel like you really need to start putting things in order. Like really believe that everything's going to work out. Like everything that you've been like doing, like you'll say, oh, okay, well, I need to go do this, but I'll take care of it later. Oh, I need to put my finances in order. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. Things like that. You need to start doing them. Like start taking control of everything that's going on in your life, because you can be very successful, Cancer. You can put whatever it is that you want out there, and it can be very successful. But you need to have patience. You need to communicate better, and you need to believe that everything's going to fall into place. You do have the Wheel of Fortune here, and the Wheel of Fortune is talking about, going with the flow, letting this cycle come in, because the cycle is ending, because you have the Fool card here, and it shows that you're leaving something behind. So you're definitely on a new path, a new journey. Not only do you have the cards here, but it definitely says that you're on a new path. You're ready for new things to come in, and I also feel like that you're going to break a lot of old chains that have been keeping you down. So it's very nice, very, very nice. I also feel like your luck is changing for the better, and karma is here, so it's nice, very nice. You have the Magician here for what you need to do now. One more card. Wow. So you do have the Magician card, and like I said, you need to think positive in everything. Remember how we create the world that we live in. We think positive, we think negative. That's what's going to come in. Okay, so remember that you are like the Magician. You know how to manifest. You know how to create the world that you want. Okay, but you got to do it. Because it's not just going to come and fall down in your lap. So it's like you got to work at it. You're going to have to put the work in order to create what you want. I feel like you've been in your emotions a lot, because you do have the Three of Swords here. I feel like also you could be going through a healing, also with the Three of Swords and the Magician here. But definitely you've been in your emotions have been very high. So, I feel like, at times you feel like, you're just by yourself, and I feel like you've been hurt. I feel like, you're always saying, why does this happen to me? Why is this going on in my life? And there are things that make us stop sometimes in our world, and it's up to us to like really stop and think, well, I need to change this. And maybe that's what they're saying to you. Okay. Because I feel like, you are definitely going through a healing. And I feel like, it's the Magician is saying, when you create the world that you live in. So if you're going to live in a, arguing negative world, then that's the world that's going to become around you. And, it's like them saying, you got to see the light where the light is. If there's darkness, then you need to start opening that shade so you can get that light in there. I do feel like you've been carrying a lot of burdens on you. I feel like you're very overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, because you do have the Ten of Wands. You know, if you look at her, she's carrying, you know, that little donkey's carrying everything. Plus, she's carrying everything also. And I feel like you have a lot on your shoulders right now. And you've been very emotional. You've been going through a healing. And you've been thinking a lot about everything that's going on. And I feel like I said, you know, you create this world. We all create the world that we all live in, and you need to start changing the way you're seeing things. You have the full card here in the what you need to work on it. Oh, my card. Wow, there it is. That what I said here is coming out right here. So it's crazy. Um, really try to follow your heart on things, okay? Because you do have the full card here, and when the full card shows up, you know, that means, you know, you need to start being careful on the things that you're doing and saying and thinking, you know, really be careful because you are definitely on this new journey, and you know, you don't want to be repeating the same cycles over and over and over again. You know, you want new things, you want adventurous things to come in. And they're asking you to be cautious on everything that you're doing. They're also asking you with the Page of Cups here that trust what you're feeling, trust your intuition on things, you know, really open your heart. I feel like there's messages coming in for you. I feel like you need to pay attention to what you want to create, your dreams. Like, be persistent on what you want to dream, but follow your heart on what's going to make you happy. Okay. And also follow your intuition, because for some reason you're not following your intuition as you should be. Okay. And that is definitely a gift that you have. You also have the Queen of Wands here, and the Queen of Wands is talking about not letting anybody take your light away from you. You know, really, like I said, you know, you will create the world that you live in. No matter how we see things, we create the world that we live in. You know, like if there's somebody in front of you and they're arguing and arguing and arguing, and you know that every day of your life they have been doing this, you know, well, it's time to get up and leave, because you don't want that. Why do you want to be in the negative world? Why do you want to, you know, be a people pleaser, be somewhere where you're not appreciated? And that's what they're saying, you know. They're asking you to be assertive and don't let anybody steal your light from you. You know, stop caring about what other people think. Be positive, you know, and I feel like you want to do your own thing, and I feel like you should do your own thing. I feel like you need to follow your heart, and that's where that following your heart comes in to play. You also have the Four of Swords here, Cancer, and why is the Four of Swords here in the outcome? Wow, look at that. Definitely that new path is here. Okay, you guys. So really rest when you can. You see this guy, he's done all he can. You know, he's very overwhelmed with everything. He's been carrying a lot on him. You know, he's been doing everything that he could. And it's time for you to just rest. Okay, get those Z's in there and rest. Things are going to start moving very fast. So that's why they're asking you to really take some time for yourself and nurture yourself. You know, you can even possibly go within if you need to. You do have the Eight of Wands. There's definitely some kind of message coming in for you, unexpected message, unexpected change also. And then you have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is talking about in with the new, out with the old. New things coming, new things arriving, being very inspired about everything, you know, having ideas, you know, this is a new start, a fresh new path here for you. So use it, take it, and think positive in everything that you're doing, Cancer. Wow. It's nice. All right, Cancer. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will definitely see you next time. God bless.